Welcome back to the channel. We're going to go over how I made $2,000 trading the London session last night. We're going to go over my executions from Asia, as well as the trade that I took through London to be able to wake up to $2,000 in my pocket. So before we begin, we're going to start by looking simply at TradeZella. We're going to also compare what the economic calendar looked like for the day. We'll actually do that first. So coming over here to Forex Factory, this is pretty much where I like to look at all my news. We see that today was pretty stacked into the open. So this right here made me kind of wary of the day itself. I was expecting this to be a pretty volatile session, and as you'll see in a little bit, we got just that. So going into the trade stats, looking at my TradeZella dashboard, you can see that I'm up 5,800 on the month so far. This is my equity curve right here. You can see small little retracement over here. Took a little bit of a red day. Was able to make that back pretty decent this week so far. And you can see looking at my trade duration performance that I do have a lot of small wins, small losses that counter each other. But all of these outsized wins ultimately shape my P&L curve. These little outsized losses do the same as well. So the idea is you have more winning trades that are bigger than losing trades. And that's honestly all you need to be worried about with prop firms. So going into last night, it was a pretty back and forth kind of day. I was finally able to get a trade, bring it back to break even. And all of this is essentially me trying to get positioned for that trade that we see into the next morning, basically. So you can see, I'll show you a couple executions here. Some of these trades are decent trades, right? Like 40 points is no joke. This right here got trailed out in profit. This would have been an even bigger trade, but I was able to catch it right here in, just shortly after. I was monitoring this, trying to go to bed, right? I kept checking to see if we were still in the trade. The idea was I wanted to be break even in this trade. And if it gave it to me, cool, great. So I was able to finally get positioned for that, but took some damage along the way. This type of trading that I'm doing right now, higher frequency, you'll see a lot of back and forth, a lot of sampling things, but ultimately the wins and losses, they balance each other out to allow me the opportunity to take a shot at those bigger moves when they happen. So that's how I'm looking at it. A lot of these trades, the best ones will work immediately. And ultimately, if I had to go back and forth a couple times before that, I'm more than okay with that. I mean, I used to think that it was bad to have losing trades, but the way I view it now is those losing trades, when done correctly, allow me to have an opportunity to take these bigger trades. They just have to be accounted for. So took two stops here. You see these two stops were the same type of idea that I showed you a second ago with that $400 trade. This kind of balances it out. And then I was able to get this. And the cool thing is I put this trade on, right? And I'll show you exactly where I enter using something like the 5-minute, I believe I was looking at, based on the time of day, taking this trade from my phone. But the idea was based on a chart that I'll show you in a second. So I'm getting in here and I'm able to move to break even immediately. And then I fell asleep because, well, to be frank, this was a long trading session, but well worth it, I would say. Did I miss out on some upside? Yeah, of course I missed out on a little bit of upside up here, right? However, based on the consistency rule for top 1 futures, which I trade with, 150K account, I'll show you really quick. You'll see right here, 20% consistency rule. Consistency. I want to keep my personal winning days under $2,000. So that way I'm taking a payout at 10,000 because of the 20%. I'll let you guys do the math. And this is the daily drawdown, $400. Use my code. If these videos help you out, if you enjoy seeing my insight and how I'm actually trading every single day, get an account, try them out. So going back to the stats, you'll see right here, pretty solid trade. Looking at the rest of the month, I mean, trade win rates, whatever, right? Profit factors, whatever. You can see that what I used to think, these $15,000 in losses, they could be avoided somehow. And it's like, maybe, but maybe not. To get 21,000 in profit, does it really matter how much I'm losing? If I'm making more than I'm losing, it's probably fine. It's an equation. It's a ratio. Do you have to lose this much to make that much? That's a normal thing. But I do want you guys to realize that even though this has been a good week or a good month so far, it's not always going to be like that. And the thing is, this only means anything to anybody when you go through the actual struggle of this being hard. Anyone who tells you that trading is supposed to be easy or that it's supposed to be stress-free or that it's supposed to be like this balance thing, understand that that's largely just marketing. Trading is a pretty difficult thing to do, and you have to have a severe passion or obsession for this type of thing to get really good at it. And I just think it's communicated the wrong way a lot of times, where people think this is an easy way to make money or a quick way. And really it's not. It will take you to your wit's end if you let it, which is why it's so important to have constraints on what you're trading and how you're trading. So I'm going to go ahead and show you a little bit of how I was looking at trading this market. I'm going to give you the breakdown of the play-by-play on essentially what the hell was I doing, right? You see all these executions, like what goes into that type of trade idea? We'll start over here. I jokingly said, I'm not going to trade Asia. I'm not going to trade the New Day Open because I have things to do. And then I put in the tweet that it immediately gaps up 100 points, right? I said it like 5 minutes before, and I said that I can't trade it and watch the market gap up. And it did just that. So I was looking to get long in here. I did catch this piece right here, just not with a lot of size. Then I got chopped up right here a little bit. I was down about $1,000 in this area, just getting chopped. I started trying to size up at VWAP, and it just did not work for me right here. And then ultimately, I was able to catch this short right down to the print of the opening. That allowed me to get back to break even, where then I was looking to get positioned for this upside. I'm going to break down the upside game plan for you. So I did trade that one on NQ, but very specifically, I was looking at this price level right here, this 720 area, 725 area, because that to me was the change in state. So I tried initial long right here, two break evens or losses or whatever. And then this was the pivot where I was able to finally get positioned and then wake up to that nice, pad on the month, that $2,000 win. It was a solid trade overall through and through. Not much I would trade or change about it. There's a couple reasons as to why I believe that this would be a gap and go type of scenario. Simply put, based on the way that we reacted to the opening price when we came down and tested it, I thought that was reasonable, as well as the fact that we did form a daily swing point right here. So I was thinking continuation to the upside. Obviously, a break above this level and a hold is good. And the target is into this 19,000. Or on ES, if you watched my weekly recaps or my weekly levels, I broke down that I've been looking for 19,000 or 5,500, depending on the index that you're looking at. So those were the main driving factors as to why I was willing to try this over and over. And, some people might argue, oh, well, you can just have a wider stop and this and that. And it's like, I could with less size, right? Or I could try it with bigger size with a more tight and active managing system. And then some of those times it works. And when it works, the losses that come with that are much less than the potential win. So the ratio works out in a way where I'm allowed to sample something. In some markets, it works easier, right? But this is all back to just how I started out trading. I can be very active on the charts. It's not much of a drain for me, especially when I'm trading around a core idea. So the only trades I really took were like opening drive long, and then I got the short back to like this price after getting chopped in the middle. And then from there, it was all long. It's not like I'm going back and forth. This is 100% long. I see it as clear as day that we're trading higher. And I happened to just kind of fall asleep after that last entry. We wouldn't break even on it, right? Stop at break even in profit. And then it just ripped, which I cannot ask for anything better than that. So that's kind of the process. And I'll show you exactly over here on my top one futures. You can see as well that I have, again, up $2,000 on the day right here on my top one futures account. These are going to be my performance stats. You can see right here, 5,800. And if we scroll, 1.36 profit factor, and that's my equity curve here. So all the stuff lines up. You can see my win rate based on the time. So I get a lot of these smaller trades that are kind of break evens, right? But this is my stats for the month. I'm up 2,400 on the week, 1,200 last week, 2,600 the first week. And then a couple days, $500. So we have a couple more days in the month. I'm personally going to be doing a little bit less than, I'm not trying to push it super aggressive. Again, my daily stop is going to be set at 1750 using the top one futures Project X. And I keep the daily stop there just because there's no point in giving back anywhere near what I've made on this account, because why would I do that? Right? Like I made the money, so I'm going to keep it. I'm going to work towards that 10,000 in equity so I can get my $5,000 payout. I'm almost there, about halfway. So it'll be a nice little $5,000 payout to start out the journey with top one. Again, nothing but great reviews I've heard so far. Everyone in my Discord, again, if you're not in the Discord, join the Discord. There's a lot of good daily insights between New York session and Asia. We go over trade examples in here all day. We talk about levels. I break down all of my trade ideas. I share that with everybody in here. And then if you go and check the trading chat, there's always some insight. There's always something going on in the Discord. So if you're not in the Discord, check the link below. Join the Discord for free. Check out Top One Futures. There's also a link. Use my code DTA. It'll save you 50% for the rest of the month on any account, any size, straight to funded. I trade straight to funded. I don't think it's worth trading evals anymore. But ultimately, what I do want you guys to remember is that wherever you're at in your trading journey, just understand that none of it will matter unless you have that darkness, that period of just it not working for you. Like, it won't matter to you that you make money unless you went through the hardship of not making it or losing a lot of it. Like, that's what ultimately gives meaning to anything. So if you feel like you're kind of spinning your wheels, just know you're just gathering data. I can tell you there was a period where I was losing money in Asia, and I could have easily said, "Oh, I need to stop trading Asia. I need to stop trading Asia." But that's the wrong perspective, because if I can just look at it as not a problem, but as some sort of equation or some sort of thing that I have to solve, it's not like I just avoid it. Anyone who says you avoid conflict, or especially in trading, all it does is make you fragile. And that's not the goal. The goal for you to be a successful trader is to be resilient, meaning even if the worst thing happens, you'll still be fine. Because if I sit here and I say, oh, well, I could only trade my little perfect bubble of opportunity right here, and you completely ignore everything else that's going on in the markets, you have a massive amount of arrogance. We're seeing volatility in these markets that I've personally never seen. So if I'm not trading when the opportunity is there because I'm so confined to my sterile bubble of opportunity that I trade, you're completely missing the boat, and you're missing out on so much asymmetrical opportunity. Because for me to be able to put on a trade and make $2,000 with like that much risk, that's not going to happen during New York. That's not going to happen all the time. So if I'm not taking advantage of that, I'm doing myself a disservice, because these are days and months and weeks that people will remember for years. So with that being said, always be curious about what else has potential to work. And if you enjoy this type of content, let me know, leave a comment, tell me what you've been trading, and yeah, subscribe. We'll talk next time. Check out Top One Futures. Take care.